And welcome into the Wednesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you. Presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. And let me tell you, we might be giving Busy Bee a call today. Joe, how we doing? What's going on?
I'm hot. Take that however you want. I'm hot.
Oh, we've known that.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a reason the show does as well as it does.
Yeah, it's no secret.
Yeah.
That's right.
The sex appeal of Joe Rexrode knows no bounds.
It's hard to contain.
Yeah.
It might melt today, though.
How we doing, Joe? What's going on?
Yeah, nothing. Just
how'd the fireworks go last night? Did you get a good show out there?
9:50. No, it was 9:48. These jackasses just let it rip, man. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Is there any sort of decorum out there in Nolensville?
Well, also, why does that have to be the time? I mean, it's been dark for a while at that point. I don't understand. Like, why is that the time we're doing this? You can't do this at 8:15.
No class in Nolensville, you know?
Yeah. So, Thursday night, we'll see. Might get interesting around town. Vigilante justice can be harsh.
Ian, how we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. Doing just fine, thanks. Another thrilling day of World Cup yesterday. So I've heard at least this time, Joe, the egg prices are down compared to last time.
That's
really?
true. You'd be a little bit more efficient with your throwing out there.
Yeah, last time you were trying to egg your house, we were, in the middle of the egg shortage, which I was reading yesterday apparently was a scam, an inside job by the egg producers.
By the egg people?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
The egg
conglomerates
industry
were conspiring with each other.
Gaming the numbers, huh?
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's why it's important to have your own chickens.
I've heard
I go on another rant about that.
Yeah.
Important to have your own chickens.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
So I've heard there's some free eggs hitting the market. Not for us, but they're just going to replenish the market.
Okay.
So do we know what the price comparison would be? Average price comparison? Was that
from now to then?
Yeah.
No.
We can do some research.
Yeah, I have to do some more.
It's cheaper.
We'll do some show research on that front.
Yeah, we have PK in, so he volunteered to help me egg. So
I heard you forgot his drink the other day.
Yeah. Oh, crap. I didn't get it today either.
Heard that went well too.
Yeah. Well, I got him some pops out of the machine. It's not as good as what he was asking for. And today will also be the same thing. Yeah, shoot. Sorry, PK. Come on in, though.
Come on in. Bring a neck fan with you today, PK.
I actually got a neck fan for Father's Day. I should have brought that.
That's good stuff.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah.
Get you a neck fan today. It's going to be a hot one, outside and inside today. You're on the program.
Woo.
We got a lot of stuff happening today. PK will be with us later in the show, I think. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us later in the program. It is NHL free agency day. We will get into that and what could be in store for the Nashville Predators. It is also match day for the United States. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get out there. Let's win. Let's win.
Let's
Bosnia, Herzegovina, you don't want none of this. It's coming your way tonight. So we'll get into Team USA and the match day. But I'm excited, Joe. Like, this is, to be totally honest, maybe the first time in my life I've woken up and have been legitimately excited for a soccer match. So that is me today.
Okay. All right.
I think we're making progress.
It is. I think that means something, I'm into it, man. I was watching them last night and stuff too. So it's I think, some of it is just like the time zone thing, right? Like,
yes,
we are getting all the games at times that we would be awake. So that's good. Or for the most part. Some of them go late and can't quite stay up for us. But for most Americans, you can watch these. Now, some people have to pretend to work while watching the early ones, but yeah. I think that's part of it.
So, LeBron James has informed the Lakers that they can move on without him and that he is going to be playing in a 24th NBA season, but it will not be with the LA Lakers. It will be elsewhere. So we talked yesterday at the end of the show about the idea of Golden State pursuing LeBron and what that could look like, and whether or not there's enough plays in the playbook to not get Draymond the ball at that time. There's a lot of things you got to work through if you're Golden State on that front. But now that it's official and he is not going back to LA, everybody's now trying to guess like what's the next spot going to be. And some of your typical names come up of, hey, could he go back to Cleveland for the third time, or does he go back down to Miami, join the Heat again? Does he just go like, hey, I'm going to go team up with Wemby and go to San Antonio? Like, there's a lot of different theories and thoughts out there. So, Joe, I turn it to you. Like, number one, what do you make of him and the Lakers kind of moving on from each other? How do you view that tenure? And what do you make of what the next stop for LeBron should look like?
Well, the tenure, wasn't, I guess, as good as they hoped, but they won a title. And that's one point that Windhorse made yesterday is, LeBron has won at least one title for every franchise he's played for. So
it's only one that he's won 2 for, though.
That is right. He's won 2 for the Heat. I mean, it was, obviously they thought there'd be more. I mean, I think some of that is out of his control. Anthony Davis, I think that's, and his health issues that we've already talked about this week, been part of that. But again, to me, LeBron, what he's doing is absurd. And I don't think people put enough stock in that. Some people don't put enough stock in his age, what he's doing at the level he's doing it. And so, the MJ LeBron stuff, that is the debate to me. And you can be on either side of it. I don't have a problem with it, but there's no one else in my opinion. And he's still, won with the Lakers, played at a high level. Obviously it's been 6 years since the title. So now I assume it's ring chasing, right? I mean, I don't know why you're.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to sign a deal in Orlando, right? And then just hanging out.
And also, by the way, that he's playing to play with his son. Well, his son just re-upped with the Lakers, and he's leaving the Lakers. So he's done that. So it's straight up ring chasing. And to me, I do think that I don't think he'd get one with Cleveland, but I think that fit actually isn't terrible. Could be interesting. Obviously, I mean, the Spurs actually, he would fit into that lineup. So I wouldn't rule that out, but I think Minnesota is an interesting one beyond the obvious Golden State. And another thing that Windhorse said yesterday, and it's a good point, is notice that these other teams didn't necessarily operate before he did this with knowledge, but Draymond seemed to.
Yep.
Draymond seemed to operate with knowledge by opting out. Golden State maybe had an inkling here. Does that mean that that's what's going to happen? Maybe. And if so, I'm here for it. Let's see what it looks like. Why not? Give it a roll. But and again, I don't know what LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, I don't know what that's going to look like. But LeBron with that team, I mean, that actually could be is that enough to actually get them to the highest level in the West? I have my doubts. I mean, I think if you're really going to be you are going to get a ring, then you go to San Antonio. But Minnesota is a team that I think could be interesting.
Yeah, Minnesota is interesting. I don't think there's any chance he goes to Minnesota because it's Minnesota. And I mean, I'm halfway joking here.
But he's gone to Cleveland. I know he's from
there. From there is a difference.
But it's still ring chasing, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. How confident are you in LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards? That's a question only he can answer. I have no idea.
No, fair. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know how he would view that. I mean, I'm only halfway joking here, but basically what LeBron does now is play basketball and golf. You're not doing much golfing in Minnesota. So, I mean, I'm halfway joking about that, but in all seriousness, I don't think he'll go there.
There's probably good golf in the summer up there, right?
I'm sure it is in the summer. Problem is, the other 10 months in Minnesota, it's not.
Yeah, you got 1 month of golf.
Yeah, you got about 1 month to get that in. So I don't know. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe I'm insane for thinking. I don't think he's going to Minnesota. San Antonio, from a ring chasing standpoint, would make a lot of sense. I also think he knows in the back of his mind that if that's where he goes, he is going to get ripped for that because he's already done some of the teaming up with Wade and Bosch, and and Kevin Love and Kyrie came with him to Cleveland and all these things. And I think he pays attention to some of that. He will get absolutely ripped for joining a team that was just in the NBA Finals without him and joining Victor Wembanyama. So look, I'm not saying he won't do it. I'm just saying that I think he's well aware that the narrative behind that will be like, oh, look, LeBron taking the easy way out and going to San Antonio, which leads me all the way back around to I think he's ending up in one of two places. I think he will be with Golden State or he will be back in Cleveland. That will be the way things end up here.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, and I don't know that the Spurs. I mean, obviously, it's interesting too. We look at it from like what LeBron would want to do, and I think that's a very good point on the narrative. But like, if you're the Spurs, I think he fits in their lineup. But also, like, that's you're bringing a circus, kind of with him. And although there's already going to be a lot of attention on them because of what they've done, they're going to be one of the best teams in the league the next few years. Wemby's going to be one of the best players. It still is it's like totally changing the dynamic for when he's there. And does that put them over? If they knew that it's going to put them over the top, fine, whatever. Sure. But it is like they do have like this really good thing going with this young team. So yeah, but I think you're right. I think that Warriors and Cavs are the top two. I would assume that like the Vegas odds would reflect that.
Yeah, and people brought up the Heat. Like I'm reading a piece on The Athletic that have listed, basically every team that we've talked about. They've also thrown the Clippers in there, which he's not going there. But the Heat are mentioned in there too, and says they could definitely use him. There's not a lot of money that the Heat have to operate with, and the Heat. I don't know that the relationship between he and Pat Riley is great after the way things ended there. I think it's fine, but I don't know that it's like to the point where LeBron would be like, yeah, let me go sign up for some more Pat Riley and go at 42 years old, get myself in like Miami Heat shape, which is like famously around sports. There's like body fat requirements and all this other stuff you got to meet to go play for the Heat. So like, I don't think he's going to end up in Miami. That's a long way of me saying that. I think it's Golden State or Cleveland, and we'll see where it goes. If you force me to guess, I think he ends up with Golden State, and he's playing with Steph and Draymond. And
let's do it.
We'll see what happens. That's my official prediction of where he ends up.
I'm back watching Golden State every night.
Every night.
See,
Pistons move aside again.
Yeah, Pistons.
See you in a few years.
You're my team in the East. I still love you too, but you're about to lose Tobias Harris and not be as good.
615-737-1025, our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on where you think LeBron is going to go. Plus, it is NHL free agency day as well. What should the Predators do today? Is there anybody out there worth targeting if you're the Nashville Predators? We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. It is NHL free agency day today, which typically, Joe, is met with at least a little bit of excitement, I think, from Predators fans, but from fans in general around the league. I don't know that I've ever run into a free agency day in the National Hockey League filled with less excitement than this one. And we've talked about it. The class is bad. If you want to kind of get a context here of what we're looking at, Chris Johnson from The Athletic has put out his, and I said Chris Johnston, friend of the show from The Athletic, has put out his free agency big board. So basically he lists the top 100 free agent targets as we enter into this thing today. And just for some context here, if you want to know kind of what we're dealing with, and no disrespect to the players I'm about to throw out here, but this just kind of shows you where we're at. All due respect to when I'm about to rip everybody. At number 8 on the free agency big board is Michael Bunting, who just, played for and was traded by the Nashville Predators. At number 24, Nick Blankenburg. Okay. Number 25, Ellie Tolvanen. So all due respect to those guys. I mean, look, I love me some Nick Blankenburg. He's a great guy. Bunting, fun guy to talk to. Good player. But if Bunting is like the 8th best target and Blankenberg's in your top 25 of the free agency pool here, that kind of shows you what you're dealing with here.
That's great context. Now, in a lot of markets, you could probably do a similar thing, right? Like here's a player that you all know isn't very good, and look how high this player ranks this year on the free agency. Yeah. Bunting, top 10, Blankenberg, top 25. Enough said.
So, the question has been thrown out there of, like, is there anyone that the Predators should target? Like, is there anybody that stands out to you where the Predators should target? And, Joe, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was looking hard at this last night. I'm looking around like I'm going through the top 100 list that Chris Johnston has put out there. I pulled up, other spots where you could see, free agents that are coming out there. I'm just being totally honest here. I don't think there's one guy that I would sign if I'm the Nashville Predators. I really don't. And I'm not saying that, like, if they signed, I don't know, if they brought Tyson Jost back, or if, they signed Calle Yarncroke back to a contract or something, like, whatever. Like, I don't know if there's going to be a move that they're going to make within reason that, like, angers me or anything. But based on where their roster is right now, we went through it yesterday with Alex Doherty. Like, to me, I think they've got 9 spots at forward that are absolutely accounted for based on the roster right now, barring a trade coming up. On defense, I'd like to see them go find another right shot defenseman.
Andrew Peak, what about him?
He's okay. Like, I wouldn't be mad at that, but he's more of a defensive guy, which is fine. They need that. I think what they also need is another puck mover, right? Like, they've got Yossi, but other than that, they don't really have another guy that makes anything happen offensively on the blue line back there. Maybe Ufko turns into that guy, right? Like, maybe Ufko is ready to be full-time player this year. So maybe you're counting on that, but I need to see him do it at the NHL level for an extended period of time before I'm just, penciling that in. So I wouldn't hate it if they brought in, a right shot defenseman here. Maybe, Peaky's the one that they go after here. I don't know, but, like, it's the pickings are a little slim, as they say on it. I was looking last night. I was like, gosh, is there one person that I would really like to see them target? And I think the answer is no.
RV Hustle, bring it home. Bring it home, RV Hustle.
That would be fun.
Right.
Bring it back. But again, like, I look at their roster and it's like, I'd rather them just use that on some young dude and bring it in Arkansas.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's an amazing assortment of guys who are hoping for a little bit more career here. That's really what it is. It's like, what is the average? The average age of this free agent class. I'd love to see that stat, like, compared to other years, because there are a lot of guys, like, way up there who are out there right now. How about a little? We've talked in the past about Tarasenko.
Yeah,
that was one of those hot topic guys. Back 8 8-ish years
Yeah,
ago or
well,
so. Yeah.
I mean, Patty Kane's out there.
Sure,
He's
sure.
just, which again would be hilarious for Predators fans, but like that's the way this free agency class kind of looks right now.
Patrick Enevander.
Yeah,
Get
a
2
lot of
Canes for the price of 1.
out there. Citizen Kane. A lot of stuff going on. I'm looking at the top guys. So the top 5 guys that Johnston has on his board. Bobrovsky, the goalie. Well, the Predators aren't going to do that. John Carlson, who I think could be very useful in the Predators, but he ain't going to the Predators. Like he's, at this point, ring chasing. He's 36 years old. And I think he's going to end up in, Carolina. Like Carolina just traded for him. He's going to end up either signing with Carolina or he may end up in Tampa. Some people think that if he doesn't sign in Carolina, he ends up in Tampa. So, he's not coming to the Predators. I know that. I mean, number 3 on the board is interesting. I just don't think I'd be willing to give him any sort of term. It's Jacob Trouba. Jacob Trouba's 32. I think he's a good player. He's a very physical guy. He's been a good player in the league. He's 32. There's a lot of mileage there. And the contract projection that they have for him is 4 years at $6.4 million per year. It's not a huge cost, but I just don't know that I would be willing to do that right now based on where the Predators are. And frankly, I don't know if Trouba is going to be interested in that with a team that, Jacob Trouba is not going to be the difference between the Predators competing for a championship or not.
No. And he's number freaking 3. For Mike and Gallatin, real quick, the rest of the top 15, Anders Lee, Anthony Mantha, Mason Marchmont, Matt Zuccarello, Bunting, Boone Jenner, Rasmus Anderson, John Klingberg, Mario Ferraro, Patrick Kane, RV, and Jaden Schwartz. So there's your top 15. RV's 14th on the list.
Yeah.
Right after Patrick Kane.
And by the way, we brought up the Zach Werenski situation yesterday, and what's going to happen with him in Columbus. And Elliot Friedman was on with DVD yesterday too, and said a lot of these defensemen could be kind of to wait to see what happens with Werenski and how that affects everything. Well, apparently there was a deal in place, a verbal agreement between the Stars and the Blue Jackets, as Elliot Friedman reported, that Werenski vetoed. So he's got the no move clause, and he said, nope, I don't want to go to Dallas. So, Elliot's putting it out there that, Thomas Harley, who's a really good young player, was a part of that return for Columbus, and that Werenski said, nope, I'm good. I don't want to go to Dallas. So that part is interesting.
Very interesting. It's not the free agency period. It is the summer of player control and using their no movement clauses as weapons.
Yeah.
So according to Wyshynski, or no, actually he's citing Sportsnet, but wants to be in the East. Lightning and Leafs seem like the two that he covets. So,
which is interesting.
Yeah. So people
Two
still
very
love,
different landing spots.
yeah, that's right. Love those Leafs, man.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll finally get it right.
Maybe so. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. More your thoughts on NHL free agency. Is there anyone you would like to see the Predators target today? More on that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on NHL free agency, 615-737-1025. Trevor asking, what do we think happens with Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars? He turned down an 8-year, $15 million per year deal with Seattle. That is true. Elliot Friedman reported that was an offer in place from Seattle. Robertson turned it down. Again, Friedman was on DVD yesterday and said that he thinks that Robertson really wants to stay in Dallas, but there's such a gap right now between what the two teams or what the two sides are asking for that they don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, it's you get to this point, and if you've not bridged that by now, by the time free agency starts, and he's different. I mean, he's an RFA, so it's not like he's unrestricted today, but like, you know, you could have offer sheets coming in. There's a whole bunch of stuff that could start happening now. I mean, that part of it is going to be interesting. You know, Willie brought up an interesting point too. Like Dallas is a little bit cap strapped and they're trying to get creative here and bring in some different things. I mean, they just involved themselves in a Werenski trade that they were clearly willing to make. So they're trying to get a little creative here, but you know, could somebody come in and offer sheet like a Maverick Bork, who's a young player in Dallas, who's 24 and just scored, I mean, what did he score last year? 20 goals? Yeah, 20 goals, 41 points in 82 games. So like those are things that the Stars are going to have to be worried about here. But like, I you know, when it gets to this point, they could still get a deal figured out with Robertson. But I do think if you're a Stars like executive today, you're kind of looking around the back of your mind like, all right, somebody going to jump in with an offer sheet that he just signs today. Like that's going to be interesting.
So my Chicago Blackhawks buddies, and buddies despite the fact that he's a Chicago Blackhawks fan, is really hopes, and he, I guess, he wants the Blackhawks to offer sheet both of those guys you mentioned, because they actually can. They have all that to pull it off, and then it's like they have to make a choice. We'll take either one of them. They have to make a choice. So I don't know if they're thinking the way he is, but I bet you there's some kind of an offer sheet situation with Dallas.
Yeah, could be. JC in Goatsville says, I want a Saros for Larkin trade. McFarland could sell it to the Red Wings, and he needs to overhaul the roster. Gambling on Onanen. Same yearly cap hit. Red Wings move Larkin and claim goalie improvement. Much needed center quality for the Preds. Let me tell you, it would take a lot more than UC Saros to get Dylan Larkin.
Yes.
From Yzerman.
Yes. I mean, I like the thought, but that's the thing, you know.
I mean, speaking of Robertson, I mean, Friedman threw out the idea yesterday, like what about a Larkin Robertson swap, right? For Dallas to Detroit. So I don't know what, like, if I'm Dallas, it just depends on how you value these guys. Like, I think Jason Robertson's a better player than Dylan Larkin is. They play different positions, so it's not the same thing.
You're swapping winger for center,
right? So it's not the same thing. But I'd be like, that would be, I think, more in the ballpark of a trade that could get done. And it would take more than Saros to go get Larkin.
Yeah, I mean, it would take. That's the thing. That's the problem. Is not long ago, I think you'd look at the red. Like if this situation happened not that long ago, that definitely has been one of the issues, certainly for the Wings, and Saros was way more valued.
Yeah,
you know, that's the problem. Right now, it's just not the case. I don't think around the league.
Yeah, no, there's not a ton of value for sure. So I don't think that part of it's going to happen. And again, like Larkin's got control over where he goes. Werenski's got control over where he goes. I think there's a very limited, if a deal is going to get made with those guys, I think there's a very kind of limited landing spots of what that's going to look like. But that's what today really kind of the intrigue of today is. It's like, who's going to get traded today? It's much more interesting than where some of these free agents sign. Like, I guess if you really want to, like, where's Eric Halla going? You know, is Eric Halla somehow end up back in Nashville, or is he somewhere else? I mean, that part of it, I think, could be interesting. I mean, there are some former Preds that are out there, like Colton Sissons is a free agent. Jeremy Lauzon's going to be a free agent. So, like, some guys that you're familiar with. I mean, Eli Tolvanen's a free agent. There's some guys that you're familiar with that could end up, you know, in spots that are intriguing, but it is the least exciting free agency day that I can remember doing this.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this group chat, you know, and all this stuff, it'd really be boring in the
Team
NHL
USA
right
wasn't trying to like all play together.
Yeah. Good for them. But yeah, what a curveball that would be. You know, with all that, then you know Canada gets one. You know, Canada gets a Werenski. What if that would? You know, that's isn't that sort of like You know, like I thought it's like let's bring it all south of the border here.
Yeah, that would kind of throw that narrative up, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's go play in Toronto. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, it's still an iconic franchise. It's a great city. But so I guess if you could be part of the group that finally ends the drought since 1967.
Sure.
I guess I can see it.
Good.
But it seems like it's a heck of a fishbowl for a lot of dysfunction.
So we had Alex Doherty on yesterday, and he talked about the idea of, what they've done to this point when, they made the Drury trade, the Colton trade, and the Höglander trade. And you've added, some what I would call middle six to bottom six depth with your forward group right now. And you've gotten a little younger while you've done it. Like Höglander, I think 25, he'll be 26. Drury's 26 years old. Colton's a little bit older at 29, but he's on a 1-year deal. So you've changed up kind of the middle of your forward lineup here. There's still, some uncertainty as to what's going to happen with a guy like Jonathan Marchessault, O'Reilly and Stamkos and those guys. My guess is they'll be on the team to start the year, and then we'll see kind of where things go from there. But, you've got Evangelista as a young guy that stepped into, a big role with the team last year. You're waiting on the next step for Wood after a promising rookie year. And then you're waiting on guys like, Kimmel that kind of come up into the league, take that next step, and become a regular NHL player. So, he kind of laid it out yesterday of how the roster is currently constructed. And I would agree with the final assessment of, like, right now, the Predators roster, I look at it and I say, well, if, like, Ryan O'Reilly can have a similar year that he had a year ago, and if Stamkos, scores 35 or 40 again at age 36, and Forsberg is basically what he's been recently, and Yossi can stay healthy, and Saros plays a little bit better, well, then they might get in the playoffs, right? Like, they might be a bubble playoff team that can get in there and be like a 7 seed or an 8 seed, right? Like, it's kind of what it feels like. And, if some of those things don't happen and it goes the other way, and there's not, it's just some dramatic improvement from like Matthew Wood, and like Matthew Wood doesn't come in and score 40 or something like that, then they're probably a bubble team that's on the outside looking in. So the question is, if, number one, like, do you agree with that assessment? Number two, if you're a Predators fan, how do you feel about that based on the way the roster looks at this moment on July the 1st?
Yeah. I do think that some Preds fans are just gonna be, I don't know, like Preds fans who have tickets and Preds fans who don't have tickets. One, I think that there's a difference in those two groups in terms of, people who have tickets, like, they do want to watch competitive hockey. Now, a lot of them still also are like, okay, well, like, this has got to change. This has been too much of this. But I feel like sometimes the argument seems like season ticket holders are the ones who are a little bit more likely to be like, I'd like to see games that matter, like past the 2-month mark of the season, stuff like that. But I think that some of the fan base is probably going to be like not super happy if no one of significance of significant age and contract is moved, and it's kind of another season, even though you can make the case that, the process is still underway. It's just, whatever, the deal didn't materialize that was worthwhile. We don't know all the conversation. We don't know all the deals that don't happen. And there are attempts to do some of that, because I just feel like, and I know that people would certainly disagree with me, like Steven Stamkos, for example.
Yeah.
I just think that next season, making the playoffs or being that team should not be a priority. If you are competitive and that's how it goes, and then once the season starts, yeah, you're going to try to win every hockey game. That's fine.
Sure.
The coaches, the players, they're trying to win every hockey game in the room, and they absolutely should. But everything you're doing right now, as long as it's like in service of the future, I think it's fine. The problem is there may not be a lot to be done. And then to some people, it's going to look like, wait, are you trying to placate these guys and let them have another run? I mean, if you're doing that, then go sign someone, I guess, and I don't think we're going to see that.
Well, I think what you have to keep in mind here is if you're a fan watching all this, I think there's a natural inclination when a new general manager comes in to like, all right, this guy needs to go ahead and just make his mark and start making moves everywhere left and right.
Right.
And I understand that thought process. I also think that's how you can get yourself in a lot of bad moves if you just are like just going crazy.
We're going to do
start.
this
like,
no
we're
matter
doing
what.
This. Like,
yeah.
I think you get yourself stuck in a bad way there. And that's, you know, look, if you're trading for someone, it needs to be the right player in the right age bracket, in my opinion, that you bring in and that can help you now, but can also help you 4 years from now. And it also help you 5 years from now. Like that's kind of be the approach if you're looking to add somebody. And then if you're looking to trade somebody off, like you can't just do it for anything, right? Like you gotta make sure that you are winning these deals that you're going to make. So that may require a little patience from Chris McFarland, right? Like it may require, and look, I'm sure, part of McFarland and his strategy also is, well, I want to see some of this for myself. Like I've been the GM of the Colorado Avalanche the last decade. Like I want to see these guys play for myself, formulate my own opinions, and then we could start making moves from there. So I'm not saying he's not going to do anything today. I'm not saying he's not going to sign anybody in free agency. I mean, they could trade Jonathan Marchessault at 9:04 today, right? Like it may happen. I have no idea what's going to happen on that front. I'm just saying, I think there's a natural inclination when a new GM comes in, is like, all right, it's time to start making moves all the time. And that's not always the best approach.
Right. Now what, and I totally hear you on like seeing these guys play. Now, what you hope doesn't happen is that there's some regression. Like, for example, Ryan O'Reilly, is he going to have a season close to what he did last year? Because last year, the trading deadline, that dude you can't tell me he didn't have massive value.
Right.
Is that going to be, because certainly this could all this could play out the way we're talking about, and then you could see quite a sell-off at the deadline.
Sure.
And what you hope is you got guys who are playing well enough to maintain that value, right? And he's one of the main guys to me that it's really, I mean, he's interesting anyway in every way, but is he? I assume he's going to be on the team next year. Well, like you said, are they going to extend him?
They could extend him today.
Yeah, and then, well, I mean, I guess if that's the case, then you're not as concerned about the trading deadline. But I feel like he could certainly be one of those guys that teams covet again.
For sure. And going back to the roster of the team right now and how good they're going to be next year. Well, I think we're officially on father time watch with a lot of these guys too. I mean, O'Reilly is a great example. O'Reilly was awesome for the Predators last year. He just put up 74 points. The guy, we've talked about Ryan O'Reilly. He keeps himself in shape. He works really hard, all those things. But the reality is he's also 35 years old now. He's 35 years old, and he just had, I think by the numbers, if you're going by just point total, I think he just had the second best season he's ever had. Well, is that going to happen again next year? It's hard for me to believe that. Like, it's hard for me to believe that Ryan O'Reilly at age 35 is just going to be like put together back-to-back 70-point years when he's done it one other time in his career. So I think you have to be aware of that if you're Chris McFarland heading into this. And it doesn't mean you don't like Ryan O'Reilly and don't appreciate Ryan O'Reilly, but that's the reality of the situation. I mean, look, Steven Stamkos, I've said this, Steven Stamkos could play till he was 45 if only thing was required is just shooting the puck. He's never going to forget how to shoot the puck. So because of that, he's going to score. But he scored 42 last year at age 36. Is he going to do that again as he moves into age 37 next year? I don't know. I mean, look, I thought when Yossi was healthy last year, he was good, right? Like Roman Yossi was, I don't know, he was not peak Roman Yossi, but he was good last year. Well, he just turned 36. Like you're officially on how much more do these guys have left in the tank watch with a lot of these guys when you start to move into your mid and upper 30s in some cases.
It's Paw Patrol.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Did you come up with that?
I just did.
That's good.
I mean, just like Kenny the Mailman out there. Yeah, I mean, my lyrics sometimes are just amazing.
I'll take more of your thoughts on the Preds. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode 1025 again. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. I got some tickets to give away. A family 4-pack of tickets to the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Super Speedway coming up on Saturday, July 18th and Sunday, July 19th. To caller number 2, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Caller 2 will win a 4-pack of tickets to the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming up at Nashville Super Speedway on July 18th and July 19th. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Dylan Naniok says Paw Patrol, superb, A+. Way to go, Rexrode.
The Paw Patrol Preds.
Yeah.
Some alliteration there.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I'm sure they'll like that.
Mark from Ashland City says, based on the moves they've made, if Wood takes even a little step and the older guys stay status quo, I feel like they're closer to the playoffs now than they were last year. I truly believe the third can be a very tough line for teams to play against this year. I think they're missing that tough two-way line that could go out and lock up top players last year. Well, I think there's a sentence in there that is going to tell the story. Can the older guys stay status quo? And I just went through some of their ages, right? Like I don't know how realistic that is. Like you tell me, how realistic is it that Ryan O'Reilly's going to put together back-to-back 70+ point years?
Yeah, like in the context of like it's the second best year. I get. Does it count as a good year? Does Ryan O'Reilly consider that a good year, or has he still had one good year? When you put it in that context, it's probably unlikely. Also, the guy is. You tell me that Ryan O'Reilly is going to be like winning face-offs and chewing through pucks when he's 43. I'll believe you. Like he's a different breed. But yeah, that production, you probably shouldn't count on that. Now, I think the production can fall off a fair amount and he can still be very valued.
Yes.
As a guy for a lot of these teams, when you start looking toward the playoffs, you add that guy. Yeah, like that means something.
But I think the point is they got a 70+ point season from him last year. Stamkos scored 42, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't make the playoffs, right? Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, I think how much have they showed up the blue line? Like, you can see, is it impossible? Is it crazy to think that UC Saros could have a bounce back year? I don't think that he's beyond that at this point. I mean, if he doesn't have some level of a bounce back year this year, then you're really concerned about that, right? But the goaltending in general, maybe it is a little bit more of a split. Maybe overall that gets a little better.
Could be. And
some of the young guys have to. They're not going to be. It's like Wood mentioned here by Mark. Like that. That's probably where you're going to get your juice. Is the young guys.
It has to be. I mean, the young guys, whoever. Wood definitely going to be part of it, but. Are there a couple other guys that could step in and make more of an impact than you're thinking, right? I mean, for some of these veteran guys, I think you either know what they are or you're hoping that they can just come close to replicating what they did. I mean, Marchessault is kind of a different thing. Like, is he going to be on the team? If he is, can he be anywhere near as impactful as he was when he was in Vegas? Like, we're 2 years into the Predators. He was okay. He ended up having an okay year his first year when you went through and looked at the numbers. Last year's bad for Marchessault. So I don't know what if he's still around. What does the response look like there? I have no idea. But another part of this is their decor. Their decor is not good. Like they've got Yossi, Brady Shea. I thought Brady Shea was better last year than he was the year before, but he's still not anywhere near worth the money that he signed for. You've got Ufko that you're hoping is kind of another guy coming in. You're hoping Molendijk steps in there at some point this year. But right now, as currently constructed, it's just not very good decor. Like Haig's okay. Perbix is okay. But there's a lot to be desired on the decor part of this too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think March is so on. If you just figured that out, I think that people would feel better about it, and you still be basically the same thing. Like you're a fringe team next year and you got a lot of old guys out there and all that stuff. But it seems I almost wonder if like moving Marchessault is worth go ahead and taking pennies on the dollar a little bit.
I think if you could just get him out, that'd be
in any way,
to go. Yeah.
In any form or fashion.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way, right? There's got to be somebody out there.
You would think. I'd be looking for it if I was Chris McFarland. Let's move back to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Bob and Antioch to the program. Bob, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, guys. You were just talking about what I wanted to ask. What if you were McFarland, what would you try to do with Marcia Show and also Brady Shea?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't think there's anything you can do with Shea. I really don't. Like, I think Shea's just got too much term left on his deal, and the level of play has been, frankly, so poor the last couple of years that I just don't think there's going to be any interest.
How was that much of a miss? Is that the biggest miss among all these things that Trotz did as GM?
It's a bad one. I mean, we could have our debates on that or the Soros contract or, but that one's
those are the top two probably, right?
Probably so. I mean, it's not good. And again, I thought he was better. I thought he was better last year than he was the year before, but it's still, I mean, it's not been close to the level that they need from him when you sign a 7-year, $49 million contract. And, we've talked about the cap. The cap is going up. So the cap's going up. The contract values are going up.
That contract's still an
albatross. It's still not great. Yeah. I mean, you got 5 years at $7 million per year left on it. And it's just, I just don't think there's anything you're going to be able to do with that right now. Now, maybe in a couple years, you can do something with it. I don't know. I just think there's too much term left on it right now. So I don't think there's anything you can do with that one. Marchessault, like what you need is somebody that looks at their team and says, all right, we feel pretty good about where we're at center right now. We need a winger, and we feel like the way Marchessault plays can complement this center really well. Because I still think I've talked about this. I still think in the right place with the right center, he can be an effective player. Like, he'll never score 40 again. I'd be stunned if he did that. But like, could he still be a 55 to 60 point player that puts in 25 goals? Yes, I think he could in the right situation for another year or two. But I think that's going to be, somebody's going to have to be awfully confident in that to make that move.
Is salary retention going to be a term that we continue to use with the Nashville Predators in the future?
Maybe. I mean, I would try to avoid that as much as possible if I'm Chris McFarland, because I just think you want to leave yourself moving forward as much flexibility as you possibly can to add things to your roster when you're ready. Like, when you're ready to add things to your roster and make some trades and bring in some free agents in a year that's a better free agent year than this one. Like, I think you want to leave yourself as much flexibility as possible. But like, if you want to get rid of like a Marchessault that badly and that's the only way to do it, I'd be thinking about it if I was McFarland.
Texter says Shea, then Alex Carrier for Barron, then waving Fabro. Destroyed the defense.
Yeah, I mean,
mistakes, they've made a few.
And definitely the Carrier for Barron one's a bad one. Waving Fabro and not getting anything for him's a bad one. Now, Fabro was really good with Werenski in Columbus, and then this last year, I think he went back to just being okay.
But still,
yeah,
that was,
you can use it.
That was a tough one.
It's a tough one. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We will switch gears, get into a little college sports coming up next. It is a match day for the United States. We'll get into that coming up in the next hour as well. Paul Kuharsky with us later in the program. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Property managers, if you manage it, they maintain it. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us, I think, later this hour.
I'm getting a buzz from the sweat in my eyes. I can't wait for PK to come in here today and just bitch up a storm.
Well, I think the first thing you'll notice is still no big gulp.
PK, I just want to apologize in advance, man.
I can't wait to talk to him about this,
but the
because
thing is,
I wasn't here for it on Friday, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
First thing Joe walked in, Paul was like, "Where is my drink?"
And that was, and obviously, that's the beginning of the show. So, but I couldn't, like, if I bought him a big gulp today, it'd be, well, first of all, it would be soup right now. So
we got a fridge you could put it in,
Yeah, but then the ice would still melt, probably, right?
Probably so.
Yeah, so it's kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
I'm sure he would like
trying to rationalize this. Yeah, I know.
We're going to talk about it, because I wasn't here for the conversation on Friday.
You know what? I will accompany him to his establishment of choice right after the show and buy him.
I don't know that he wants to go to a gas station with you. You might get robbed.
That's fair too. Well, I'll go, and then I'll bring it to him somewhere. How about that?
All right.
Come on in, PK. The water's warm.
It could be an interesting program with Kuharsky a little bit later in the show. Looking forward to that. Joe, there's an interesting piece on The Athletic written by Austin Meek about college sports and maybe an underrated reason of why it can't be fixed right now that we've not talked a ton about. So, Joe, kind of take us through what Austin Meek is talking about here, and kind of your thoughts on maybe an underrated reason of why college sports is in trouble and not getting fixed anytime soon.
Well, I mentioned this, I think at some point, referred to this at some point, maybe last week or the week before, about, as we talk about all these things, everybody's like, it'd be the NFL light and whatever, the Big Ten, SEC, then they're going to take these programs, whatever. And people are freaked out about this, whatever it might look like. Could that happen? Yeah, some form of that could happen. I've never believed, like, in the massive exclusion that some people think, like, they're gonna, like, it's gonna be like 30 teams or something. I've never bought that because I just think anybody with half a brain would have to look at that and say, you are going to kill the overall product over time if you do that. But some form of it, some form of elite top level league that's like, so if Power 5 is 65 teams now, 45 of them or something, something like that. I think that's possible at some point. But that's the thing. As you talk about all that stuff and all the different things that would go into that and the parity that we have now, what I mentioned before was, so you're telling me that, like, Ohio State fans or Georgia fans or whoever, they're good with, like, NFL light, and every year we could all be 9-3. We'll have a playoff and it'll be parity. And are you sure? Because, like, if you're an Ohio State fan, first of all, it's hard to even get season tickets, but you absolutely expect to win every single Saturday. And if you don't, it's a big problem. And you've had that advantage forever. So this is one of those things, quiet part out loud, that happens in the wake of Dusty May leaving Michigan. Domenico Grasso, he's Michigan's president. Michigan State both have, like, a new president every 6 months, so I can't keep up with these people. But he was, I believe this was actually, this was a board of regents meeting. Okay. So it wasn't like I for a minute, I thought maybe it was talking to, in one of these congressional things. So he's talking to the board of regents, which is the same thing as the board of trustees, and talking about the whole thing with Dusty May, which, again, I truly believe Dusty May is a great reminder for everybody that you can be at the very top of the game. You can win. You can have it all figured out with a portal and NIL, and you still are like, I can't do it, man. I'm out. Yes, he got a good job, but still. So Grasso says, that May told him that. He and I agreed the future college sports head the wrong direction. And then he says, quote, he says, sports are, quote, in dire need of clarity and equitable reform. Clarity and equitable reform, he says. And then follows that up with, quote, we want what's best for the Big Ten and for Michigan. We're not going to sacrifice the competitive advantage that we have built for more than a century. End quote. There you go. So I've heard people, and I think it's an interesting thought. Like, do we ever get to the point where college football has a draft? Like you're drafting the high school players? And I guess if you had a small enough group of schools, you could talk about doing something like that. But these big programs, they want nothing to do with that. And the problem, and this is the problem, is that if that's your mindset, how could you possibly, how could we possibly ever get to the point where there's reform to the point of fairness and some of these things that other people, like the Protect College Sports Act? I mean, there's some things in it that are just not going to fly. The capping the pay, it's not going to fly. But also, that act is trying to even level the playing field and even things. And the power players are ultimately they're not going to be for it because they want to continue to have the best players all the time and the most money all the time and win almost every Saturday, except for those rare occasions when they play another program at their level.
Yeah, and frankly, I don't blame them. I don't. If I'm Ohio State, I don't blame you for wanting to continue it the way that it's been, right? If you're Georgia, if you're Alabama, it's worked out pretty well for you. So, it's a great point. That part of it has always been something to me where it's and we always focus in on the Big Ten and the SEC with that because it's okay, well, they're the ones that have the media rights. They're the ones that, by and large, drive where this whole thing's going. And it's okay, well, when this Protect College Sports Act was first introduced, one of the first reactions to it we had was, okay, why would the SEC and Big Ten want any part of this when they're the ones that are controlling basically all the money right now and they get all this stuff? It's okay, I just think you're going to have a tough time getting them to do that. And then, of course, a few days later, there's a joint statement that they released together about how they don't want to do it. It's okay. Well, I don't think that's just going to all of a sudden change at any point. So on one hand, you're wanting more focus on, I guess, the overall good and the greater good in college sports and protecting some of those things. And on the other hand, you recognize that if you're going to get there and you're going to get some of these things through when it comes to the Protect College Sports Act or any other thing that they draw up out here, that it's probably going to some level require a sacrifice that I just don't think a lot of programs and conferences are going to be willing to make in the long run. So what do you do about that?
Yeah. So you're just not going to have enough. You just don't have enough people on the same page.
Right.
Because as much as Cody Campbell has hurt his credibility with all this stuff, which ends up being pointless, although I can't wait for the documentary that's coming out that apparently is going to chronicle this whole thing with Brendan Sorsby.
Should be good.
Look, I've said it many times before. If he's right, and there are different projections, there's been reporting on this, but if he's close to right about how much overall revenue could be gained by pooling the rights, well, I mean, is it not irresponsible for the SEC and Big Ten to be like, screw you, we have the most, I don't care. I mean, again, if you care about the long-term health of the enterprise, and the problem is, again, it's people who are thinking short-term, and they're gonna cash in their chips and they're gonna get out and leave the problem for somebody else. Yeah. But that is kind of if he's right, then this is a massive opportunity for all these ADs, even in the Big Ten and the SEC. Oh my God, we got to do we got to do this. We got to do seat licenses. We have to have a naming right on every stadium. You're looking under every rock for money. If there's really as much money as he says there is in this pooling of rights, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of hard to. I understand why they want it, but also is anyone ever going to think about the actual game?
It's a good question. 615-737-1025
Probably not.
Is our phone number. 615-737-1025. It's match day for the USA, baby. Woo! We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp at First Horizon Park. First pitch at 6:35. You can catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Mad Fireworks, and Social Cantina. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Join our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows, exclusive content, and our award-winning future YouTube chat. Paul Kuharsky will be with us in the second half of the program. Joe, it's match day. The United States taking on Bosnia-Herzegovina tonight. It's 7 o'clock, I believe, Central Time is when that match starts. So we've got just under 12 hours until the match takes place. Christian Pulisic has said, hey, I'm healthy, ready to go, ready to play a full match if necessary. So good to see on that front. He got in the last game and now apparently ready to go. So I would expect to see him from the jump tonight, and then we'll kind of see where things go from there. On paper, USA is a pretty heavy favorite in this game. So you're feeling good about that, handling into it. I guess the one thing that I'm curious to see is what I brought up yesterday on this is, they have done a really good job of playing better than I think a lot of people expected in the group stage. And now that the pressure is on and you're the home team in the World Cup and it's win or go home, and there's more stakes to it. There's more stress involved, all those things. How do you respond to it if you're the U.S.? Does the moment become too big at any point? Or can you handle it? Can you go out there, take care of your business tonight, move on from the round of 32 to the round of 16, and then see where things go from there? But, from a psychological, mental standpoint, I'm interested to see how the U.S. team responds out there tonight.
Yeah. It's fascinating. So much excitement, so much positivity. Then you have the step back, which, by the way, Pochettino came out and apologized. Did you see this? He apologized. I mean, it basically was like, I was pissed about the loss. Okay, well, at the time you said we should be congratulated. Let's congratulate everybody. Yeah, you were mad. It's okay. It was a tough way to lose a match, but maybe that's a good thing for them. A little bit of guys, the margin for error is small. Like, let's remember that regardless of who's on the field. Like, we have to pay attention to the details. It's just, I think in sports, the fear to make a mistake, the difference between being aggressive, not recklessly aggressive, but being aggressive and being confident, and then being a little bit too careful because you're a little bit too worried. It seems like, and I feel like soccer and hockey share some characteristics. And I do think sometimes that's a thing where it's like sometimes teams can be so careful and you'll make just this mind-blowing mistake that ends up in your net, And so that's what you worry about. I feel like the first, I know it's soccer, so it's like, the first goal might be the only goal, but I feel like the first goal is really important. And I think that's often the case in hockey.
Yes, for sure.
So the start is really interesting. People have done this. We talked about it. You can look at the Paraguay and what they did hanging with Germany and everything and be like, okay, this team we dusted that team. Yeah. But I'd be careful about the transitive property in any sport.
I'm looking at the Athletics website. They've got a poll up of who people think are gonna win the matches today. So you've got England, who I think is a 95% of the vote. England is getting over Congo.
Don't blow it, England.
USA 92-8. So 92% have voted for the United States. They have almost 21,000 votes at the Athletic.
Wow, that's an overwhelming amount. Meanwhile, Senegal, Belgium. Then the winner of that, by the way, plays the winner of the U.S. and Bosnia. That's a 58-42 in favor of Senegal. So, but everybody expects this to be a win. And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
The United States,
makes me a little nervous, to be honest with you.
We have not won a knockout round match in this tournament since 2002, I remember that tournament well. That was exciting. And Landon Donovan, and that was there was a lot of talk then about, oh my goodness, finally we're becoming a soccer power. It's not that simple. It's not that easy, but it's been a long time. A win tonight, and yes, I understand it's a round of 32, which has never existed before. But a win tonight it's a big, big deal if you can get that. However you can get it.
I will say I watched some of France yesterday.
Yeah.
They look pretty good.
No, I was
maybe a huge problem.
I was gonna bring that up. Like if you're like, oh, we're gonna win this thing. If you watched France yesterday, I was like, what? These dudes are just like doing stuff. I'm not like, oh my god. I mean,
it's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, like they look insane. Even though like it looks like they're like their uniforms look like they're playing polo or something, you know. But whatever, man, they looked unbelievable. I was like, that is what like a champion looks like. But look, even with that,
we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, exactly.
Just take care of Bosnia.
If you ever get a chance to play France, well, then it's already way beyond anyone's realistic hopes.
Yeah,
so.
No doubt. Ian, how are we feeling about the match tonight? We confident?
Confident? I mean, yes, but
nervous.
Yes,
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this game. I'll be honest with you. U.S. and European teams and World Cup knockout stage. This is just like a notch above what we're used to. So I'm a little bit worried. I'll be honest with you. I think Pulisic's going to play well. He looks good. I'm glad he got in, knocked off some of the rust in the last game. But you just worry about the knockout stage and the lack of experience for some of these teams kind of really shows out. And you could see it so far playing out in the knockout stages that we've seen. I would not be surprised if this was tight at all, low scoring, just because I can feel the tightness factor kind of creeping in.
Now Ian's making me more nervous.
No, I mean, I feel the same thing, man. It's like, that's why I like an early, and look, I understand this happened in the last game and they lost, but like an early goal, I think would be so big. And just the longer and I don't really know, like what are Bosnia's expectations? I mean, this is pretty good for them, right? To even be in the knockout round, I feel like. I'm
going to assume yes.
So they can, they can play without pressure and just relish. I mean, what a great opportunity. Every team that sees us, USMNT, us, has got a relative possibility of going into the United States and with all the excitement about this team and ruining that party. I mean, that's got to be something that they talk about a lot.
I need home field advantage to matter in this. I need the people out there in Santa Clara tonight to get a little rowdy, right? Like it's you're the home squad.
It will be.
You got to make something matter.
It will be hype. It'll be rowdy.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be an amazing atmosphere. Whatever that does. Again, I feel like it helped energy.
Seemed to help Mexico last night.
Yeah, that was an incredible scene.
And Mexico looks good too.
Around,
yeah, man. Like they dominated that entire match.
I went to bed at halftime, but that first half, like
total destruction.
That was fun to watch. The atmosphere looked incredible in Mexico City, and yes, they definitely seem to be gaining energy. That's what you want, just energy. Just overwhelming energy. And that's what the crowd doesn't affect the game in soccer like it can, like I think in basketball or like football before a snap or whatever. But yeah, you would think it would. I think the scene will be unbelievable. I mean, these scenes like pregame at wherever we are playing, have been amazing.
Only thing I'm worried about is the electrical substation that's next to the 49ers stadium out there. Remember, and that's supposed to be getting everybody hurt. And then what the 49ers fans' theories are. They've got an electrical power station next to their stadium. And it's like, they got this substation out there. And that's why Kittle blew out his Achilles and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, great. Cool.
I've not heard it. Is this like a data center?
No, it's like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, look up San Francisco 49ers electrical substation. We'll get a lot of conspiracy theories that come up.
This is like George Kittle. It was like a superhero movie.
Yeah,
they're all
getting hurt because
veins.
they've got some, I don't know.
Him and McCaffrey.
Electrodes running around out there. Yeah.
Wow, man. There's a lot of stuff out there.
So got to worry about that tonight.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Maybe get over here and turn the power off a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. I had no idea.
Keep everybody healthy.
Now I'm even more nervous.
Exactly.
Jeez. Thanks a lot.
615-737-1025. Our phone number. We'll take more of your thoughts on match day for Team USA coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar, Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com is with us. PK, how we doing? What's going on?
Well, good morning. You guys are putting up with some work conditions, I see. I don't know why there's not a strike or any pushback. You guys just pushovers.
Hey, we are a warm program, and we like to be warm.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
you'd like to be warm.
I mean,
What kind of nonsense is that?
I think it's it's cozy in here.
And this soda thing is just,
Well, I wasn't here for this on Friday, but I'm disappointed to learn that no Big Gulp was provided for you on
Listen,
Friday.
now it's hard to dig out of because it's true. It's hard to maintain a good soda for an hour and a half. But, I mean, he didn't mention the idea of putting it in the, I don't know, refrigerator.
Yeah, but the ice would still melt.
Maybe.
Well, it would melt some, but it's a lot better than giving it to me after the show when the purpose of it is to caffeinate me for the show.
And also, what you could do, you could go in, put it in the refrigerator about 6:30, walk in there, put it in the freezer until 6:45, take it back out, put it in the fridge.
Or get it without ice, get ice separate, and combine the two as I arrive.
Wow, that's dangerous right there. You want the real deal. You don't want me messing with the product.
That's probably true.
I want the product.
All right. Listen, I'm happy to get you one right after the show.
I don't want one after the show.
Fine. Next time you come in, I will do that. I will get a Big Gulp and I'll put it in the fridge and I'll do a little freezer. I'll do a little back and forth.
Have we officially determined that Rexrode is not a man of his word? Is that
Yes.
what we determined?
Well, I'm just saying,
This is
I'm
just the
forgetful.
latest example.
I'm forgetful.
So, do you have a
know?
phone? You can set reminders on the phone, Hey, Siri,
There's so many
set
already.
a reminder for 5 a.m. next Wednesday. What do you want to be reminded about? PK soda. Boom.
See, I don't know how to do that.
I just did it. That's it.
Yeah, I don't trust those robots. By the way, these people are saying, Robby, that's not a conspiracy theory, but that there's science and that's actually real. Have you
The
heard this
electrical
crap?
substation
The
thing?
crap?
Yes. Where have you been?
Sure.
They
Apparently not getting you a good Big Gulp.
they did a study on it. I don't know what the 49ers came up with on that.
I think it's
I'm pretty
conspiracy
sure
theory.
is negative results on their study because they don't want to move their practice facility.
Yeah.
It's right next to the stadium.
So just explain it to me, though. So there's an electric substation. So what happens? They get electrocuted as they walk to their car?
Just
Like,
people have speculated that their rash of injuries are not disconnected from that they practice right next to, like, how all the kids' ball fields are right next to crappy. Yeah, that you wouldn't buy a house next to one of these things, right? So
okay,
they have a practice facility and stadium right next to one. And
there's missing
probably
information
less
here.
than
I still
ideal.
don't understand how this contributes to injury.
Well,
The electrodes, man.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know that
It doesn't.
It probably doesn't, but it's probably not the healthiest thing to practice next to it either.
This like Aaron Brockovich, like the water's bad
Yeah.
or something. Okay.
Stuff like that.
By the way, personal text line. You guys know you could DoorDash, get you some a drink. PK could have it here by the end of the show.
Would you want me to do? You want me to DoorDash you some Big Gulp?
I wouldn't mind it.
I actually don't know how to DoorDash.
You've never DoorDashed anything?
Well, my kids do, as I've ranted before. I've never done it myself.
Text Caroline and ask her to DoorDash a Coke Zero Big Gulp.
She's
to
in
here.
she's in Lake Tahoe right now.
She can do it from Lake Tahoe. She's asleep.
It's like
though.
5 a.m.
Wake her up.
We gotta get stuff
Tell
done.
it's
around
time
here.
for Dad to pay off, or
call-
the big bad men are going to show up.
Let's call her.
PK's got a loan shark out there.
Good
How we
God.
feeling today, PK? It's match day. We feeling confident for
Nervous.
the U.S. match tonight?
Healthily confident, but healthily nervous also. I'm more nervous about if they don't make it through, just the backlash of it was all phony and didn't mean much. But I'm totally picturing them coming out on the front foot. They play well out of the gate in all three games, and I think they'll dictate pace and flow early and be aggressive and fast and smart with their runs and probably put something on the board in the first 20 minutes the way they have been. But Bosnia is probably a better defensive team than anybody they've seen. They haven't done great against Europe. And so there's lots of reasons to be nervous.
Okay, now I'm even more nervous.
I'm feeling good.
Are you?
I do. I said it yesterday. I stick by it. 3-1's the final night. 3-1 for USA.
That'd be tremendous. I could see that.
Yeah, I just I mean, I'm excited to watch because we really haven't watched much of it, right? Pulisic and Balogun together, right? I mean, like that was
45 minutes.
45 minutes of it. Like that was like
Magic.
Now we were just talking PK about watching France, and it is
Other
like
world.
oh
It's
my
unbelievable.
god,
Other
it's
world.
insane.
Like you don't even have to be a soccer aficionado to look at it and be like, well, that looks a little different out there.
yeah,
At a high level.
it is, but I still think that. Well, certainly compared to, and you know this way better than we do, but anything I've ever seen from us before, we do use us
He is
and we.
he
by
is
the way.
all in on us and we this week.
I think it's completely last week he was giving me a hard time. I mean, when it's your country, us and we is completely
agree.
fine.
I've flipped.
Yeah, you flipped it. He flipped in a week.
I'm a flip flopper. Real quick before we get, I heard from McEwen on this electric thing. He says, guys, this is coming from an electrician with 25 years experience. No way does that cause any kind of problems. Also, I have 6 fingers on my right hand. Thank you, Herb.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out. Could be some interesting stuff going on at the game tonight. You know, the substation could be in full effect.
Hey, I mean,
Can you
substation's
target
not
it?
gonna-
Can you
not
target it
gonna
to
hurt-
Bosnian players?
It's not going to hurt anybody for playing a game there. You know,
Do you know? You know that for sure?
no, I don't.
Is there
Okay.
practice facility near the stadium?
The practice
it's right next to
facility
it.
is at the stadium.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all together.
wow.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Sorry, 49ers fans. You'll never win again. I didn't know.
Brock Purdy will withstand.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a fun night. Yeah, it's funny. They put up like my wife and I are watching. We've been watching, religiously, but they put up yesterday like pregame starts at like 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a little intense.
there's still a game.
That's a lot of Alexi Lalas.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to beat them bad.
There's still another game in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Their pregame starts during the afternoon game.
Pregame show starts right after we get off the air. Actually, it's gonna be all day affair out there.
It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I said it earlier. This is it's different when you're out of the group stage. There's pressure involved, but now that you're in you're winning or you're going home, and you're the home team, and you've built up all this excitement around the country. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is the first time in my life I can remember waking up and being legitimately excited to watch a soccer match. First time it's ever happened to me.
That's what they're looking for.
That's what they're looking
by
for?
bringing it here and all, these guys have waited their whole life for a moment like this, and they seem like a relatively strong-willed bunch of guys who aren't going to let things slip through their fingers. Now we're not allowed to talk about next round yet. Before
Don't look
before-
ahead.
Hold off. So
Don't mess us up here. How about Pochettino, though? He's like, sorry, guys, I was pissed about the game.
at least he's honest.
I
about
do appreciate that. I love that dude. Just his
He's
shirts,
great.
man.
Yeah, the
Some of
shirts
these-
with the glasses tucked in.
Like a lot of these coaches, like they look like just like old school. It's like I feel like I'm watching like George Halas on the sidelines of the Chicago Bears or
Well,
something.
some of them are in a suit, and some of them wear a T-shirt.
Right.
It's a very
I like his
We
kind
got
of
a wide range out there.
hip, casual kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
The double pocket shirt,
he's a
Cool.
cool dude.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
and a pretty good coach,
Well, it's working.
right?
He got good as they could do, and it was pretty much in sync with them hiring the best women's coach in the probably in the world. It's just sad that they had to get like outside investors
Yeah.
to give them big money in a country where people pay thousands of dollars for their kids to play as a 10 and 12-year-old, that we don't have the operational funds to be able to go out and hire big time coaches. And I don't want to think ahead to what's going to happen after him.
Have we decided whether or not the DoorDash is happening? We got people offering to just go ahead and do it. Give the address out there, but it's got to come from Joe. Like Joe's got to be the one to do it.
I mean, I could text Katie and see, can you teach me how to DoorDash on the air? I don't know.
Ian will teach you during the
Teach
break.
me how to Dougie.
I-
If someone
I-
else
too.
If someone else out there would like to do it,
then
I
15
could-
15 are going to show
I can
up.
write you a check. I can write you
Yeah,
a
they've
check.
got too
if
many
you'd
big
like
gulps.
to.
You can send a Venmo.
What would a
Can't
big-
you
what-
send a Venmo?
Dude, what would a big gulp? I know I don't do that. Katie does that. What would a freaking big gulp be for DoorDash? Like $23 or something?
No.
No, like 7 or 8.
I mean, it's
It'd be delivered
$7.
Tip,
Oh, this
delivery
is-
fee.
I'll buy you 4 more big gulps. We go
Well,
outside
this
from
is
here.
the price you pay when you don't
irresponsible.
you don't bring it. It's just, I mean, you offered it up to him to get him to come to a show,
And I already blew that.
and then you didn't do it. You didn't follow through.
I know.
I mean,
look,
this,
it's my fault. I'm sorry.
compounds over time.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Talking about just like a big vat of,
Yes, I
pop,
told you last
of-
week I
of
wanted to
bath.
Here's an entire keg of Coke Zero.
I would bathe in sticky pop right now to get out of the studio.
Yeah, but where's the protest? Now, what we want, all of those people who are offering to bring big gulps, we want you with picket signs outside of the office.
I just can't wait.
No
till,
cool, no show.
I just can't wait till DVD. By the time those guys are going to be, woo! Get ready, boys.
It's
Is
cooking in
anybody working on it, or is this
I think
like an
so.
alarm going off at the airport?
I don't know.
Everybody just walks around. Yeah, excuse me, there's an alarm going off. Oh, yeah, we're aware. No, you're not. No one's doing anything. No one's made a move.
Go catch a flight.
The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
I'm tempted to commit a crime.
Bosnia is dead to me for the next couple of days. God bless America.
And Herzegovina, too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, all of them.
I'm hot. Take that however you want. I'm hot.
Yeah, I mean, someone in the SEC thinks I'm hot.
I do try to play a doctor sometimes
Yeah.
on this show.
Also nicknamed Dr. Sex.
I don't like this media, guys. Just bring your cameras on down.
Pitch and catch.
The SEC college ADs to change the name of from Southeastern Conference or SEC to just America.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulp, son. All right. Well, see you later.
I was absolutely incredibly impressed with PK.
It is time for the Rex Rant, brought to you by Rapid Response Generators, power when it matters most, and served by the Wine Cellar in Hendersonville.
We've got to know. I mean, first off, changing the conference to just America. I knew there had to be a tremendous payoff
America
to endure her pace. But Dr. Sex?
Yeah, what was that from?
I don't know. Can you replay the whole thing? I was in the bathroom.
Rexrode waited until 3 minutes into the commercial break to go to the bathroom.
I was dunking my head in the toilet to cool off. I'm sorry. I need to hear the beginning.
Context for Dr. Sex, please.
Rexrode left the room, and Ian's like, where's he going?
No, you just clip them and file them.
That's
I
correct.
clip them, I file them. I clip them, I file
A
them.
label.
Yeah, put
There
some
we
little
go.
notes on there, like, you know.
Yeah, you do more work.
Yeah, exactly. You're not doing enough.
Doctor-
Coming up with a hilarious.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a rant from Dr. Sex as I scoot my chair over near Robby.
What was the quote? I said, I'm Dr. Sex?
I'll play it real quick.
Repulsive.
This is me getting out of the rant.
You getting
Hey,
in
play
the
that
mood.
over again.
Also nicknamed Dr. Sex.
Oh, no, I know. Do you want to know?
No.
I'm going to tell you. Shut up. No, it's Dr. Barclay at Michigan State. He was a psych professor. Everybody wanted to take his class. And basically, that he was like a sex therapist on a radio show.
It's a free A, like every other class.
Everybody called him Dr. Sex. Yes, and he also would he'd be like, yeah. So I was on acid the other day. I mean, it was wild. Man.
Any update on the meth lab at Michigan State?
You know, it's been awfully quiet on the meth lab front. I'll do some investigation.
All right.
Today I saved this for PK because we actually did talk about this last week, but like since then, and I sent you something that I thought was
I haven't had a
done.
chance to read.
Oh, great. Well, thanks a lot. I'm glad I didn't get you a big gulp. But the Caitlin Clark stuff, I don't know what the answer is. I just know that I would like. Yeah, this is a rant.
Okay.
The rant is the Caitlin Clark stuff needs to end, like on all sides of it. Like the only person who is just going about her business is Caitlin Clark. The entire world around her is completely insane. And it's obviously it's like culture war crap, right? I mean, that's unfortunately way too much of it. But people like you, PK, she's the whole point of the league. And, you know, it's like it's way overboard on that front. On the other side, it's way overboard too. And it's just it's nauseating. And if I could get rid of one thing in sports, like just one topic, and not Caitlin Clark, because she's a great player. I love Caitlin Clark. You know, I like watching her play, and I like the WNBA. But if I could get rid of one argument, and there's so many bad ones, this would be top of the list. It is absolutely unbearable. Maybe if you're out there and you're not paying attention to it, you're not participating in it, good for you. I'm watching it. Yeah, good for you, Robby. I mean, that's the thing. And this is probably where
It's a great example of why not being on Twitter.
it is.
Awesome.
No, it's a great example of why social media is out. But it's being on social media. I mean, every talk show, Christine Brennan is out here like, and I love Christine Brennan, but it's like, she's not getting like this Alyssa Thomas thing. She deserved to be suspended. She's suspended for a game. That's about right. That's fine. They missed
But they
it.
don't call it in the game.
Well, but if you watch that in real time, I'm not surprised. In the real time, it was like this. Caitlin Clark didn't say anything. This is something someone made the point. It's totally true. Caitlin Clark complains a lot. And I mean, she probably has a lot of fair complaints, talks a lot of trash too. She didn't say anything about that. She kept playing. I mean, yeah, you watch it in slow motion and people are like, they drove her fist into her throat and tried to murder her. It's like, no, I mean, it was too much. And she got suspended. Great. Move on. No. Let's make this just the World War III of arguments. It's so
league.
stupid.
I like that the league maybe doesn't want to over favor its stars like the NBA does. But
They've put every one of her games on TV. Every one of her games is on TV.
To put on exhibit their inability to referee her and market her.
They do whine about the officiating a lot in this league. I've
No,
noticed.
the officiating, well, it's not good. And here's another thing. And this is where so many people get into this argument, and clearly they don't ever watch the league. That's fine. But don't pretend you know. Watch a game. They beat the crap out of each other. And it's not under control. The refs are bad. But then the Caitlin Clark fans who, like, I think if she could, she'd be like, please leave me alone. Stay away from me. It's just like, oh, they're trying to murder her. They're trying to murder my CC. And it's just like, well, no, I mean, yes, she gets beat up some. She also, she brings it on a little bit. It
doesn't seem it's called evenly from the highlights that are.
From the highlights from social media. Right. Okay, great. So if that's what you're going to go with, I think you're missing some context. Look,
I think there's a wide enough body of legitimate people who are critical of these issues to know that there's a problem in the WNBA, in the way that she's marketed, in the way that she's officiated, in the way that the league handles it, in the way that her team is handling her. The coach clearly doesn't have a good relationship with her. What is that? How stupid is that?
But okay, let's go to there right there. Okay, so her coach is there. Okay, fine. Coaches and players sometimes don't agree. So because she's Caitlin Clark, I must just defer to you. You know, you won't play D, or you're talking trash to me in the huddle, but I don't. You're Caitlin Clark. You gave us all this money. Let's just defer to everything. No, I mean, these are human beings. Some people don't like her.
I'm not saying she should pick the coach, but I'm saying management should put her in sync during the prime of her career with a coach who could get the most out of her, and this coach isn't doing it.
Okay, it's her second year of playing. I'm sure Stephanie White will probably lose her job. He'll get another coach. That happens. That's going to happen. But there's a lot of other things that happen in other leagues, which, again, for the millionth time, Michael Jordan. I heard this week. Well, and Michael Jordan he got a. Please watch with me. I'll enjoy the hell out of watching it. Please enjoy with me a Bad Boys against Michael Jordan game. Let's watch how much the league protected his ass. They beat the crap out of him daily, every time.
Yeah.
Until he figured it out. And he fought back. Did the NBA defer to Michael Jordan? Oh, no, we can't. No, they did not. It's sports. It's sports. These are athletes.
Is he leaving out the part where there was a book written called The Jordan Rules and it got there?
Yeah, the Jordan Rules. That was the Pistons' entire strategy of always have two people around them and beat the crap. Get an elbow in, get a leg in,
Pistons
get a knee
are the
in.
only team that did it. The Knicks one.
Maybe the nicest thing Joe's ever said about
the Knicks are way after that. Watch sports, PK. God, I think the takeaway here is you don't watch sports. You get no big gulp.
I certainly don't watch the Pistons because I turned the games on about the semifinals of the league, and they weren't anywhere to be found.
I'm sorry, I have to take a cool down. I actually made myself sweat so much when I started yelling there. Like, I'm actually a little bit overheated right now.
Clay and Gallatin wanting to know. It's a good question. If Paul will do a 3-hour radio show for a big gulp, what would he do for an entire meal?
I also got paid, but I didn't feel like doing it. And Joe was like, come on, we'll have some fun or whatever. And I'll bring you.
And it was fun.
And he talked me into it. And it was fun, except for the part when my friend broke a big promise.
Lied. By the way, no efforts taken in the break for a big gulp DoorDash.
No, it's over.
It's over. Too late now.
Look,
if my voice comes across a little shaky for the rest of the hour, bear with me. I'm parched.
I'm going to make this up to you. I will.
Get that on tape. Mark that down. Put that in a file.
Time stamp it.
I'm going to make this up to you.
I will make someday there will be. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get you a big gulp of Jolt Cola. How about that?
No, I don't want Jolt Cola.
They still make that.
I don't know. I'm going to find it on the black market somewhere.
Surge, maybe Surge somewhere.
I want Coke Zero.
I had some RC Cola
you can't
Zero.
Upgrade what you haven't given me.
Cleveland is an RC place. Yeah.
RC Cola Zero. Huh? Okay.
How was that?
It was all right. Yeah, not bad.
I think
I'm down with some RC.
Saying it's lame.
I'm down with some RC.
They have RC in the press box of the Bengals.
Really?
Remember,
Ohio,
I got
that
big
checks
Ohio
out.
thing?
It's a
Yeah.
big Ohio thing.
All right.
That's strange.
Good to know. PK with us the rest of the show. We'll take your questions for him. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com is with us on the program for the next hour. We'll take your questions for PK at 615-737-1025 on our text line, our YouTube chat. Keep them coming on the program. PK, obviously some very tough news earlier this week as Chris Johnson goes on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan and reveals that he's been diagnosed with ALS. And we've seen a lot of reaction since then to his interview and people texting in with stories about Chris Johnson. But I mean, you covered his entire career here with the Titans. What was your initial reaction when you heard the news? And as you've kind of looked back on his career and looked back at his teammates and everything that went on in the Chris Johnson era here, and obviously the battle that he's got in front of him now, what are kind of some of your thoughts on Chris Johnson and just the horrible news we found out earlier this week?
Well, on a franchise hardly known for electric playmakers, this guy was a wall socket. He was just remarkable. A really good guy too. And, you knew something was coming. I didn't chase, try to top Good Morning America. It's just so striking to see how quickly it has advanced. I talked to Tim Shaw, and Tim Shaw told me that 2 years into his diagnosis, he was playing golf. Right. This sounds like it's a little over a year, and he's gone from lifting his 7-year-old daughter to blow out candles on a birthday cake to not being able to lift a cup and to using the speech generator and all of that. So I saw this really, really good reel from Tony Reale, the guy who used to be on
Around the Horn.
Around the Horn. And I picked up on that with what I did for my own little video. But we tend to freeze all of our favorite athletes, all the famous guys at their peak, right? Our picture of Chris Johnson is what? Sprinting, just like the outrageous speed. And the stark contrast between Chris Johnson at his athletic best and a guy sitting motionless, talking with his eyes on a keyboard is just the most striking difference you can see in an athlete. It's so jarring. And then that advance being so much faster than Tim Shaw, who's dealt with this for 12 years. It's really heartbreaking. And the Titans have had a big share of guys who have, Frank Wycheck is a big symbol of what happens with CTE, which is clearly football related. CJ said, I don't know how this came to me, but it's 4 times more likely for a football player to have it than for a regular person. Seems like the Titans are right up there at having 2 pretty damn good football players as symbols of 2 of the worst effects or potential effects of the worst parts of the game. And it's really incredibly sad. And to have 2 guys with ALS who were teammates, jarring again.
Yeah. This is a question. This was, some people have asked this, and I don't think anyone has an answer to this, but Chris in Nashville talking about like it's the tick they had.
I don't think why that people are jumping to that conclusion. I mean, I know other people with ticks who don't have ALS, and I know a lot of these guys with ALS who didn't have ticks. So why are people so prone to connect the two? Like, are you a medical doctor?
Right. I mean, because the thing is, like you said, Tim Shaw's obviously had it for a long time, and he's at the forefront of people who have fought it, who have raised awareness, who have done incredibly well. But if there was something there, if he had this back then, we'd be talking about something totally different right now.
Yeah.
Right? So I understand people making that connection to a point, but yeah, it doesn't add up. Not that we're doctors. How do you put him to context?
We're not doctors, so we don't make a presumption. All these other people aren't doctors, so they just race to make a presumption. I think there's a smart path there that we're taking and a dumb path that other people are taking.
So how would you put him into the context of, because like you said, his peak was short, but it was special. It was like around the league, this guy is must see. Of the people that you've covered on this beat with this franchise, how do you put him into that context?
Well, I initially said one of the fastest Titans, and then somebody was like, one of? And then I went back and kind of considered and everything, and I led my video with that. Like, that's a mistake to call him one of. He's the fastest guy that ever played for this team. Certainly fastest 40, I think, at the 4.24. I can't think of anybody comparable that's played for this organization. I think too, on the awareness front, I mean, he's the biggest name, right? He's not a Hall of Fame level player. Like you said, the peak wasn't that long. I don't know if Amy Adams Strunk put him in the Ring of Honor. That's generally her immediate reaction to anything bad happening. But, if you pair up Chris Johnson highlights with this stark contrast that I'm talking about, if you're looking for new push for research, for raising money to redo the Ice Bucket Challenge, and I've seen some people doing that already, you have a new face on this, and he's, Steve Gleason had his moment, obviously, and is a big representative of New Orleans for coming back after Hurricane Katrina, but that is more isolated. Chris Johnson was the top pick in fantasy drafts for several years, has a much bigger scope to him. So him being the face of this now is bigger in scope than it's been before. And it certainly seems like by coming out publicly here, he's saying, I want more research. I want to help in that front. And it can only be really good for the research and the awareness about ALS, which is, it's no getting around it. Maybe one of the scariest things you can see out there. And he emphasized that, like, hey, my body's not cooperating, but my mind is fine. And that's just a harrowing thought. Like, if you imagine yourself like that, I couldn't handle that for a second.
So to this point, I guess you can get back into more social media screaming, this is another one this week that has emerged from this. We talked about it yesterday, but when you talk about awareness, it is important, I think, to be very clear-eyed about the game of football and to be. I thought Albert Breer made a really good point. It's like, I love this game. It's given me everything in my life. I played it. I like, if we can't talk about all this stuff and not any attempt to avoid this is a grave mistake. We have to be open. At the same time, that interview is about a tragic personal situation. Someone being willing. There's a lot of criticism about there should have been at least a football question there or multiple football questions. And do you think football did this to you? Would you go back and play football again? Things like that. Was that a miss?
I agree. You need to have it. He put out, and I didn't see it until later in the day, he put out a very good infographic on Instagram. I went back and added that to my story. He said, how I got this is unknown, but there are studies out there that say football player is 4 times more likely to get it than a regular person. And that begs for research and study. And I want the league on this hard and for a long, long time. So he's doing his part to answer the question, even with it unasked, which is really good work.
Yeah. By him.
Listen, I talked to somebody, this is a CTE conversation, not an ALS conversation, and more Wycheck related, and Wycheck had predicted that he would have bad CTE, and he proved prophetic after his brain was studied. But this person who's in league circles said that he believes the league wants guys of Wycheck's generation, and Frank was roughly my age, maybe a little younger, would have been in his mid-50s anyway, right? Wants guys of that generation to, take the settlements, disappear quietly, hopefully live longer than Frank did and have more natural deaths or whatever, but to gradually fade out and disappear. And then this next generation will come and hopefully deal with it less because hits have been minimized. Practices have been scaled back, all of those things. They feel like they've made changes that will make it less severe for fewer guys, and they feel like they can make it through if the Wycheck generation, I don't want to say goes away, but that's really what they're looking for. And if that goes away, rather than really taking this on the way that we would like to see, and they're doing money and studies and all of that, but not really conquering this issue and addressing we've got a problem. If that generation fades away and the next generation isn't nearly as bad, can I say, without like washing it under the rug, that they'll be able to wash it under the rug. Now,
Heartwarming.
That doesn't erase some of the early problems. There's some doctors who say these subconcussive hits and hits in high school and stuff are where the problem starts and everything, and you're never going to get away from that. But I agree with this idea. The league just wants it to go away.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
And this fear that we had for a long time that, if it goes this path, and you've got guys like Wycheck finishing their career and starting to sound scrambled and predicting they're going to have CTE and all of that, it's going to scare parents and kids out of it. And you're going to have more soccer players and more lacrosse players and more whatever. And it's going to become a socioeconomic sport with a more limited pool and all of that. Well,
I think that's happened to some extent,
but
not
probably
nearly
as far as it's going to go if they can keep this quieter. And if there are fewer Chris Johnsons and fewer Frank Wycheck.
I mean, it's like a university athletic department with a compliance officer who does an internal investigation, right?
Yep.
You're not really trying to find out what went on. You're just trying to get an answer
CYA.
that'll say exactly. CYA is exactly right.
Yep. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Lots more to get into with PK coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Paul Kuharsky with us here on the program, presented by Rapid Response Generators. Power when it matters most. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Still a lot of discussion of the big gulp in here throughout the break.
I'm going to get you back. But by the way, Ian now has triggered me on a rant that I forgot I was going to have. We don't have time for this. But
we got time.
Well, okay. Bless you.
Bless you.
So I heard some of our younger, bless you again. Some of our younger, you got to help me out, PK.
I'll try.
So, Born in the USA, which was it's a war protest song by Bruce Springsteen, right? Talking about
misinterpreted, widely misinterpreted.
Like back then, it was all made very clear, like this is what the song's about. And so now there's like this new, and I've heard some of our young talent on the stage like, oh, I didn't know. I thought it was just like Born in the proud. No, it's a war protest song.
He comes back from the war, and things don't go well for him. And he said, "But I'm born in the USA.
Right.
Like you're supposed to take care of me."
Right. And so for people who, by the way, we don't definitely have time yet. But my dad experienced this coming back from Vietnam. So whatever. I mean, point being that like now apparently people are mad, like getting mad all over again at Bruce
some
Springsteen.
country singer.
Well, no, it's a guy from Stained. The dude from Stained. Like, I hate him.
He's
now.
like, wait, this is not a pro-American song? What? He's a genius, apparently.
Yeah. So anyway, that was going to be a rant.
You should have saved that for tomorrow's rant.
Got a texter who says, I am one of those people. I'm not letting my kids play football. Way too many risks and plenty of other sports to play. No, I mean, I think it has made an impact, but I think that
Joe went the other direction. He said, I want my kid to be concussed multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's not funny. I mean, honestly, I wrote a huge thing in the Tennessean, and it was very hard to figure out if to let him play, when to let him play. We did. I don't regret it, but it is a risk. And, it's something that a lot more people take into account and should take into account.
I would also say this. I think when I was playing football growing up and the drills that we did, like those have changed. They just don't do that anymore. Like they don't do, like we did the Oklahoma drill. We practiced in pads every single day and hit each other every single day. And that just doesn't happen.
I had several
Bull in the ring, every practice.
Concussions and head injuries, not playing football,
that
I'm sure have a bearing on my life
from
as
soccer.
a 57-year-old. Soccer, I broke the bone like right under my nose. Messing around with friends, playing like New Year's Day football, I cracked my orbit bone, and then the concussion and a collision at first base. Concussion playing pickup basketball in college, at least one more.
You trying to make excuses for
yourself? But I'm saying I'm sure they've had some kind of cumulative effect in the migraines and the headaches that I have, and every once in a while with brain fogginess. Maybe I'm giving myself an excuse, but I think cumulative effect, and I didn't even play.
Well, I guess and I guess my point is like I think you've seen the effects of what we've seen go down in the NFL of like there have been parents that are like, yeah, my kid's not playing football, or at least isn't playing football until they're older and more developed.
Yep.
But I also think you've seen like whether it's middle school football, high school football, or even younger than that, Pop Warner football, where they're like, yeah, I mean, some of the ways that we used to practice, we're just not doing that anymore. Like you're not going to be out there just slamming into each other at 7 years old every day on the practice field.
I think
we talked about
I've told
investment in flag football.
Yeah.
As a way to forestall some of that.
No, I know I've told the story, but I'll tell it again. It's fine. My first tackle football was 4th grade. And back then it was like, 9 years old. Sure, get out there, smash.
You were a nose tackle?
I was a running back and a linebacker. But then eventually I became a quarterback, all-star quarterback in the Greater Manassas Football League.
He's wearing those, the double digits or the digits in Pop Warner where you're not allowed to carry the football. It was Rexrode. You guys won't believe it. I was as skinny as a rail back then. It's crazy. But the very first drill in Marshall, Michigan football, which by the way also produced Adam Gase, so it's a great football league. Produced me and Adam Gase. The coach, I'm not kidding you. We had no pads yet or anything. He had a kid come from one side, a kid come from the other side, and he just threw the ball in the middle to see who would get it. And he even said, like, I was trying to get you guys to hit heads to see who's tough. That's how, like, they seriously was a thought back then of like,
use your head. If you're tough, you will smash people with your head and you will prove it. It's crazy to think about, but that's truly how people thought
And
back
you
then.
said, I'm going to use my head, coach. I'm one day going to have a job where I write once every 2 weeks and get paid.
And forget big gulps.
And by the way, just a quick aside about our favorite song. We've debated South Detroit and the Southland and all of that. I don't know if I got you in this text, Robbie, but Simon played a lot of ball at Riverdale this weekend, which, by the way, has unbelievable game day production. Like, the tournament wasn't doing anything, but I think Riverdale is so proud of their game day production that they refuse to let games be played there without doing their game day production.
Yeah.
Where they play incredible music, have like clips up, like as if it's Bridgestone Arena between innings and stuff. And they played a live version of Don't Stop Believing in which he sang "Born and Raised Right Here in Houston."
Oh, yeah.
So
Born and raised out here in Houston.
That's it. So
Wow. Okay.
an alternative, but
Interesting.
So multiple versions out there,
Yeah.
as my voice cracks.
I just need
Journey
a
Live.
born and raised downriver.
not happening.
It may exist.
If I could meet him, I would. We need to search him out. Is he a recluse or just a band?
he's not
deserter?
touring with them because they're touring.
know,
He's not part of it.
But I mean, is he a recluse or is he a band?
He's probably
deserter?
ashamed that he got the thing wrong with Detroit.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I saw an
It's
interview with him, by the
ruined
way,
his
where
entire
he
career.
said
Huge fact error.
he knew the end of The Sopranos because he wouldn't sign off on them using the song for the end if everybody was going to die.
So they were about to just blow Tony away.
No,
and
it
they were
came
like,
down
"Oh."
to the end, and he said, "I won't sign off on it if like it's a massacre at the end or if they all die." And so they actually told him what the ending was before he signed off on them using the song.
And then he put it on Reddit as some anonymous user. Wow. I did want to read this text. Excellent segment by PK. I think he's spot on about the NFL's true thoughts on CTE and other long-term player ailments. Great to see someone that deals with the NFL say it. As much as I love pro football, it always makes me want to stop watching. And people can't stay. And another thing is the settlements with these guys, the lack of payment, the delays of payment. It's
And then I think
these
there's
guys are
probably
printing
NDAs.
money.
There's probably NDAs
Sure,
attached to all
sure.
this.
But these guys are printing money, and I think this is a thing. So, like, I don't really agree with the anger over Strahan in that moment, but I am glad that there's conversation about it out of this, and we really can't stop. You know, you can't stop putting the pressure on them and trying to put sunlight on all this stuff because they absolutely have the mindset that you described last segment, 100%.
I've run across an
And
interview.
it's not okay.
Run across an interview with Steve Perry from 2012.
Oh boy.
Oh God, this could be huge.
Quote,
huge.
I ran the phonetics of East, West, and North, but nothing sounded as good or emotionally true to me as South Detroit. It's only been in the last few years that I've learned that there is no South Detroit, but it doesn't matter. That's the quote from Steve Perry.
I mean, that is some vindication for Joe.
It is. Thank you.
But it doesn't matter.
you.
It doesn't matter because this song, and I heard it.
The only Detroit that doesn't exist.
I heard it in the car again this weekend, listening to like XM classic rock or whatever. It is such a good song that he gets to name the jug. So there might not have been a South Detroit, but there is now.
Yeah. And as we pointed out several times,
I actually appreciate that quote. Like,
there
I
is the-
appreciate
He's
it.
like an
you
explorer.
can go south in Detroit.
He's like Lewis and Clark. He gets to name.
names
He
all
gets
of it.
to name things. If he wants to write more good songs, he could go around and name other areas of the country, things that they've never previously been.
I mean, I
named,
kind of
and
appreciate
they've
it.
become popular.
I appreciate it even more now. He's like,
That's
yeah,
awesome that you found.
it's
that.
very recently that I
Yes.
learned that there is no South Detroit. But it doesn't matter. You know?
What did he say? I ran the what?
I ran the phonetics of
Phonetics.
East, West, and North.
Detroit. That would have worked. West Detroit's a thing.
No, South sounds better, man. It's just what it is.
Don't dare to grapple with Steve
Born and
Perry
raised
about
in
the
East
phonetics.
Detroit.
Oh,
That would have worked
No,
too.
No.
awful.
No.
He knows. He
Some-
may have
somehow
abandoned the
south.
band, but he left behind South Detroit for all of us.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in Detroit, I'm gonna go maybe to the south part just to
That's-
pay tribute.
It's pointed
Is it
out in this-
dangerous there?
I'll meet you in Monroe.
So this is, it's from Vulture. It says, Vulture, there's no area called South Detroit. The southern port of Detroit is called downtown, and south of downtown is Canada. Vulture points out that the song could refer to the area known as Downriver,
Yes.
but argued that this area was rural when Journey wrote its song, and thus a city boy wasn't going to be raised there. We've gotten into the bottom of this.
Like I said, downriver would be south of downtown Detroit.
You know,
or Canada.
Joe to have talked
Born
about
and
this
raised in Ontario.
as much as he talked about this, for Joe to have talked about this as much as he talked about it and not done that deep
Done the research.
dive
Yeah.
research. By the way,
well
have
done.
they opened
Well
that
done.
bridge yet? I don't want to get into governmental affairs,
The Gordie Howe?
but that bridge is ready to go, and it's being postponed for political reasons.
No, okay.
Let's talk
didn't
politics.
know
I've got a half hour left. Let's do some politics. BK, what do you think?
I just recently found out there's no South Detroit, but it doesn't matter. Robby and Rexrode,
That is a hell of a
102.5 The
quote.
Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Can I have another take here real quick?
Sure.
Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin' is the better song.
No, it's not.
Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin' is the better song. I love Don't Stop Believin', but Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin' is the best Journey song.
No,
and
it's
people
not
don't
even the
because of
second
Sopranos, people have lost their understanding of the greatness of Loving, Touching, Squeezing.
That song was enormous
Clip.
before Sopranos.
Also nicknamed Dr. Sex.
Yeah, boy.
Send her my love, separate ways, faithfully.
Send her
Don't-
my love. Shut up. You're shut up.
any way you want.
Send her
it.
my love. You make me sick.
Only the young.
You're just making up. You're just throwing out song
Be
titles.
good to yourself. All of these songs are,
I mean,
are
lights.
better than
Lights
Love
would
It.
be
Lights,
up there. Lights would
Lights
be
is
up there. Yeah. Okay. Send her my love. Yes.
Doug in Hendersonville says, you guys are killing me. I hate Journey and Don't Stop Believing is worse than We Built This City. Steve Perry sounds like a cat in a garbage disposal.
Dang.
Don't Stop Believing. Look, if you're with people in a position to sing along, I mean, I don't know that there are many other songs that everybody just winds up singing.
Na 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 na. Come on.
Na 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 na
Na na na na na na na na na. See, I told you,
Not
love and touch
bad,
and squeeze.
but it's not better.
I got to read Dennis. He says, "Why isn't the guy from Stain complaining about how he was duped by Steve Perry, making him think they were the South Detroit?"
That might be next.
What an idiot!
The guy from Stain should be getting his own podcast based on that. I mean, if
I
that,
went to South Detroit. And
if
it
that
wasn't
dumb
there.
girl who was,
I was
on
in the river.
I was at a casino in
Kayak.
Windsor.
if the girl on the street who gave that dumb answer, this Southern girl, got a podcast out of that.
Oh, Hawk Tua?
Hawk Tua. Then the Stain guy should be getting a podcast.
What
out
about
of
Hawk
his
Tua
dumb
and Stain together to analyze song lyrics?
Well,
I think we could have something here.
She might be too participatory.
Okay. Stone in Love. That's a good one, Sean.
Stone in Love is great.
Stone in Love's a good one.
Look, they've got a good catalog.
Sure. But Love and Touch and Squeeze in its top.
No,
It's tops.
it's foolish.
The latest
We
at
just want
Paul,
to be
Hawk
concerned.
Tua. I was wondering if you'd find that.
the latest at PaulKuharsky.com. Your 30-year says series this morning talking about the defensive back depth. And I got to be honest with you, looking at this year's version of the Tennessee Titans, PK, that is one of the things that scares the crap out of me is the lack of defensive back depth, because inevitably at some point, somebody in the secondary is going to get hurt, right? And hopefully not multiple somebodies, but somebody's going to get hurt in the secondary. And if it's Alontae Taylor or if it's Cordell Flott, I feel like Titans going to be in some big trouble when it comes to that. So kind of take us through what you've uncovered here, looking back at the Tennessee Titans at PaulKuharsky.com about defensive back depth and how it correlates to team success.
Well, I mean, if you're picking lowlights for the Tennessee Titans, Bleedy Ray Wilson against Andy Dalton, that's one. Perry Phoenix and Deron Jenkins fighting for a heated bench seat, that's another. I think every time they call on secondary depth, almost every time, it turns out to be a bad thing. So they need to be healthy. We don't know if Joshua Williams is, he looks the part, but we don't know if he's going to be a good third outside guy. We've got, we've got some visuals on the nickelback, Marcus Harris, and they've spoken really highly of him. Who's behind him as the nickel corner? No idea. As the safety there, Tony Adams, he can do some things, but he's got a history of taking bad angles and being a bad tackler. And so, offensive line is a concern, but that secondary depth, I think they really need to find some veterans who can't find better jobs than being a third or fourth on this roster, unless they really see something in Keedrain Callaghan, Jalen McMurray, Latrell McCutcheon.
We're going to see some of those guys.
Sanusi
We know
Kane,
that.
Jarek Reed, Bishop Fitzgerald, Eric Hallett, Kendall Brooks, Micah Robinson, Jaden Lucas. That is not an all-star cast.
It's a lot of names.
A
lot of
names.
bodies.
Well, they have bodies on the depth chart. They always do. Look, Micah Robinson got torched by Carnell Tate on a regular basis. Then when he was off Carnell Tate, he did a little bit better. Do they see promise there? Maybe. Do I think you put him on the field, then you're going to have significant drop off? I thought Daryl Baker over the last 2 years did some okay things as a depth corner. They need a guy that's at least that good.
So it's a fair, definitely. I think it's one of these are the two areas, right, where you're like, but at least the frontline players could be good. You get injury luck, right? I mean, I still think that the interior of the offensive line is top of the list for concern.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Has to be, at least until somebody proves themselves. I mean, there is a scenario where Schlotman, expands upon what he did with the Giants and settles in as a satisfactory starter, and that Slater is, and look, he's just one example, and we've talked about this, 6th round pick, right?
Yep.
Bring him in from a smaller school, Sacramento State, and give him a year to develop. Now, ideally, you wouldn't have had a coaching change, but hopefully that's good for everybody. Big coaching change, big coaching change, position coach, and coordinator. And you see that he can develop across a season playing on special teams, 34 snaps or something like that against Jacksonville. Not enough. They should have got him more at the end of last season. Carry that through, develop a guy, and say, well, Marcus Harris was a low draft pick and we called on him early and he produced. And here's a guy that at a position that needed more time to develop. And he goes and wins a competition and becomes a starter. And we can draft a 6th round offensive lineman, and have him be 1/5 of our offensive line. And that's fine. And hit on that, that'd be good fortune also.
If you had to guess right now, just assuming middle of the pack of like the highs and lows, the floor ceiling of like overall performance, like Cam Ward, everything like that. Right now, are the Titans more likely to be? And you're gonna love that I'm bringing this up, Robbie, on July 1, drafting a corner or a tackle first next year. Yep,
tackle. I mean, it's clear they need both. I just think you're more likely to find a good 2nd round corner.
You have
than
to
you
go
are
high.
find a
You
good
have to go high
second-
for the tackle.
Second.
What do you think
round
of the 2027 tackle class?
Zero idea.
Any thoughts on that front?
Brendan Sorsby?
Why don't
He's
you
in the
get-
draft.
why
Yeah.
don't-
Brendan Sorsby's in the draft.
While you're doing so little work at the Athletic, why don't you make a call to one of your athletic guys and have him have him rate the tackle?
We have 2 pieces that run this week.
That's incredible.
Well, I mean, it took some
You've been
time to
working
do.
on those for months.
A few weeks.
I love that you defend Shaquille O'Neal as a commentator. Joe, I just
Robbie, help me. I'm not even. Robbie, help me.
Joe,
out.
Shaq's good on TV.
I just want to thank you for telling people that I'm a good commentator.
No,
when
Shaq's good on
most
TV.
people can't really understand anything I'm
So
saying,
you,
'cause I just Shaq, that's funny.
This is just.
I mean, Charles.
This is just like your
funny.
commentary on Caitlin
It's
Clark.
funny.
If you don't watch something, that's fine. You don't
I
have to
watch
watch.
you this long to hear you do this, and then I change the channel because I can't understand the damn thing.
I mean,
you're saying.
what is he missing, Robbie? He's missing the greatest show in television.
Very
history.
good.
I'm missing hearing what the commentator is saying because I can't hear.
This baby is hot as tech.
Can you take
I
your
mean, it's a
volume
bad
from
take.
here and at
It
least
is a
raise it
bad
to here?
And he
Can I
keeps
hear
going
you up
with it.
here?
He just keeps talking.
Maybe.
If you're going to
still
tell me
talking.
that Shaquille O'Neal is not a mumbler, then you're just a fanboy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look how big he is. He dunks. He's the greatest thing ever.
PK.
What a personality.
PK, I want you to carefully understand that Robbie just said this might be. So it's not just me and you here. This is you against the world. Shaq and Barkley on Inside the NBA is probably the greatest interactions ever. And you're sitting here talking about his mumbling, you idiot. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Are people holding those big horns to the TV?
No,
in order to
we're not,
hear.
No, we're not
Shaq?
on Mr. Magoo. We're not damn near senile like you. We're good. Thanks.
Here's a qualification that should be required for TV. If you whisper like Thierry Henry, or if you mumble like Shaq, either the audio engineers have to turn up your mic level or you can't be on TV. That's my rule.
You need to talk louder for me, please, at home. Well, how do I get in there? I need to type on my. Shut up, man.
Should we address that he called you senile while also forgetting your big gulp for the second time in a row?
I'm senile, but he's got a guy going into his car, taking his things while he's pumping gas, staring at the numbers turn on the machine. Like, ooh, this is fascinating. These digital numbers, how they turn.
It's a fair point.
I'm like hypnotized.
Listen, it's a fair
Hey,
point.
guys, everyone get in my car. We'll hitchhike to Knoxville.
So, by the way, someone on the text line just said that when I said analyze, I said anal eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need the audio. I don't think I did, but I wish I had.
When I look
now.
into your anal eyes.
I wish I had anal eyes when that guy came out of my car. We would have never had this issue.
I've lost total control. One more segment coming up next.
This show's
Robby and
done.
Rexrode.
We're done.
I need a big goal.
Final segment of the day, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Football offseason coverage presented by Tennessee Brew Works and Parman Tractor and Equipment. A lot of stuff going on the text line right now.
Great last segment. Are you keep getting that seat nice and warm for Jake? I think Jake's excited to sit in that seat.
I don't think it needs any help getting warm.
Yeah, should be cozy.
We'll
Come
turn
on
up
in here,
the
buddy.
heat. We'll turn up the heat for him.
Yep, that's right.
Can we do that?
Tell us what we're doing with the 30-year says at paulkuharsky.com. How did this idea come to be?
It came to be because I'm looking for ways to distinguish myself a little bit for 30 years on the beat. And I think there are issues that will arise this year that I could put into kind of 30-year perspective. So I'm going to concentrate on doing that. Hopefully about once a week. That'll be a special feature of membership. And so, I was talking about corner depth recently and then kind of clicked in that it's not just something now, but it's been something over the course of time. And August 19th was my first day in Houston, Texas in 1996. So I'm going to do something big on the 19th and the 20th to mark that occasion.
You're going to keep this going through the year?
Yeah.
On top of the regular coverage?
Well, as a piece of the regular coverage.
Okay. So you're going to sacrifice some of your regular coverage?
This will be some of the regular coverage.
Don't short us now.
You won't be short.
Okay. All right.
It's gonna
I think it's a good idea.
Thank you.
It is amazing. I feel like there's probably other beats that would be comparable, but this beat, because we had Beauclair on, obviously you, Glenn, and Teresa. I mean, and Jimmy. I mean, that's 5 people who in different roles and now, but like 5 people who have been around for all
Long time,
this stuff, man.
Well,
that's pretty. I think that's pretty cool.
Let's distinguish a little bit, shall we? And rather than lumping us all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
together.
Yes, that's right. We must put you on your little pedestal. I'm the one who can't hear Shaq talk on the television. Well, I was trying to give you a compliment, but you just have to,
Well, you were trying to give a bunch of people a compliment.
Oh, that's right. That hurts your feelings.
I'm just saying I was the one in Houston, and I travel as somebody that you mentioned there doesn't. I've never worked for the team as somebody you mentioned there does, and I'm still with it as somebody else you mentioned there isn't.
Great. So, sorry I brought it up. Let's make sure to take little shots at everybody. Yeah, I mean,
It is true.
Well, I know, but I mean, can you just be like, yeah, it's cool. That's all you had to say. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now this person doesn't talk anymore. Whatever, man.
I'm celebrating 30 years covering the beat, so Joe will lump in several people who haven't covered.
I'm glad you didn't get a big
team for
gulp.
30 years.
I'm doing
But
something.
don't forget about these people who haven't covered the
I'm
team
doing
for 30
something
years.
at paulkuharsky.com to really
distinguish
try to distinguish myself. I mean, let's have Joe just throw it all back in there.
Yeah, let's put you back in the crowd. No,
Oh,
the Houston thing is I mean, that is a very interesting element. That is something you certainly no one else can claim.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Somebody mocking us, I believe, says, who's the Titans' greatest run-stopping strong safety? Vote now at paulkuharsky.com. Who is the Titans' greatest run-stopping strong safety?
Blaine Bishop,
was
right?
pretty damn good.
Got to be.
Well, off the top of the
There
head.
you go. Don't even have to check
All
it out
right.
at paulkuharsky.com. We just got to the bottom of it.
Great.
Very quickly there. Now, I mean, so what are we now? We're, 4 weeks away from training camp?
Let's not count down. It's too
What-
fast.
Is that where we're at?
What is the first day? The date?
28th, maybe 27th report, something
Okay.
like that. I don't want to look too close.
getting close.
It's coming fast.
That's the norm. That's the time it always is. I feel like.
no,
And
it's usually like a week earlier.
I don't think you're right, man.
Most of us, when we were told that date, we're like, sweet, that's late. Great.
We are.
I thought Simmons said the 29th of July was report day.
We're 4 weeks away. The veterans report on 28th. So 28th. I imagine 29th 's first day they're on the field. 4 weeks from today.
And then 6 weeks from that, in mid-September, they'll play football.
Yeah, exactly. So still a long time before we
Yeah,
get to
still
the
a
games
long
that matter.
time, but we'll be
It'll
counting
be
on.
nice and cool outside.
It sounds good right now.
It does. They've
Oh,
got
yeah,
a-
outside sounds good right now based on the temperature inside.
The surface of the sun doesn't sound altogether terrible right now.
Have you commented to management at all?
Oh, wait, they're aware. Yeah.
They're aware.
I just prefer taking veiled shots on the air.
Well, somebody
they're
broke it.
aware that it's hot. Are they aware that you're miserable?
Somebody after us broke this thing.
Yeah.
They tried to get this temperature
Who?
down, and it could have been Lyman. I don't
Jake?
know.
Was it you, Jake?
It could have
Did you
been
break the
Big
AC?
Joe. I have no idea. But
He said
somebody
no.
turned the AC down to like 67
They
because it was
cranked
hot
it.
outside, and then it got all frozen.
Yeah, to be fair to Chase, he sent out an email like, don't keep it between a certain range. And someone didn't listen.
Someone didn't listen.
That person should be put in a stockade during his show in front of the building.
That person should have to watch Inside the NBA with you.
All right. We're going to do something that PK
Sound off?
hates here. You ready for it?
Okay.
Official prediction, USA tonight. Go ahead, Joe.
You got
I'm
3-1.
3-1.
You're
3-1 United States. I'm confident in it.
I'm gonna go 2-1. US. Us. We win. 2-1.
I'm going to make PK do something he really doesn't want to do.
I'm going to go 2-1 us.
Okay. So are we talking
What
like
if this thing goes to penalty? I don't know if I can
no.
handle
I'd
it.
be
You don't want
stressed.
that. You don't want
No.
that. You don't want
I'd
Do you
rather
love
be
it?
I'd rather be looking up at about the
It's
51
so
minute mark and saying, yeah, this sucker's over, man. It's over.
Dude, you go penalties are just too many variables. The tension
Yep.
is so you might have a heart attack.
Are you a fan, as a soccer fan, by the way, of that? Because I saw Florio wrote this thing like football doesn't have anything close to this drama, but like as a soccer fan,
Well, there's
are
no
you okay
alternative.
with so
There's no alternative.
do
There's-
you love it? Do you love penalty kicks?
No, nobody loves penalty kicks. I don't think it's too random. There's this one idea that floats out there that you do penalty kicks after regulation, and that's like half a goal, and then you play the 30 minutes
Okay.
to see if somebody can offset
You have 1.5 to 1.
the penalty.
Okay,
Kicks.
yeah, come on. I mean, that's stupid.
It's just you don't want it determined by penalty kicks. You
I
really
like
don't.
golden goal. Problem is it can just take forever. Like you could be running out there for an extra 90
Well,
minutes.
the thing you'd have to do if you really wanted to play
Allow
it that way
subbing?
is they allow subbing. You
No,
have to,
I mean, another sub, though.
there is an additional sub in extra time. Take people off the field.
I agree. Just reduce it. Be like 3-on-3 overtime.
Create more
Give them
space.
a little bit more space out there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy watching 3-on-3 hockey. I'm glad it's only obviously a regular season thing. It's fun to watch.
I mean,
Sure.
it's not the same game, but
No.
you can only play for so long, and
Yep.
you're asking these guys to play 8 games in a little over a month. It's insane.
I'm confident. Let's go, America. tonight.
USA,
We
I
will win.
believe that we will win.
Let's
I
do it.
believe that we will win.
And I hope PK gets a nice big gulp while the game's going on. You know, maybe he might have to do it himself, but I hope he gets something.
Don't block the box.
I'll
Be
send
sure
one
to
to him.
lock your locks, and don't count on a friend to get you a big goal.
That's going to do it for us today on the program.
I'm sorry.
Next man up, Jake
Yeah.
Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.